Welcome back to On The Ball. My name is Gabriel and this is Talking Points, the show where we discuss noteworthy things that happen with regards to the Premier League. And today we're going to be discussing the fact that Timo Werner, who was heavily linked to Liverpool and Manchester United, is set to be joining Frank Lampard's Chelsea. Now, before we dive into that, if this is the first time you're visiting the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon so that you can see more videos just like this one. So for the longest time, Timo Werner was linked to a move to Liverpool, and every now and again he was linked to Manchester United. And it's not really a surprise because some of the better stars, or some of the stars that shine, always are linked to Manchester United. But it doesn't often happen with Liverpool, so it really did seem like Timo Werner had his heart on playing at Anfield for Jurgen Klopp. But Frank Lampard has swiped in, and it looks like Chelsea have paid for Timo Werner's release clause, which sits at about £49 million. Now, what is the hype behind Timo Werner? Well, first of all, he's very good, and it helps that he's young. I believe he's 24 years old, and he has scored quite a few goals in the Bundesliga this season. The only player with more goal involvements, that's goals and assists, than Timo Werner is Jadon Sancho, and the player who's tied with Timo Werner's 32 goal involvements is Robert Lewandowski. So Robert Lewandowski leads the goal scoring charts with 29, having made 3 assists, whereas Timo Werner is second, having scored 25 goals, having registered 7 assists, and he's only played 29 Bundesliga games, which is quite a phenomenal achievement. Not very many players are able to keep up with the likes of Robert Lewandowski, who at the very present moment is the best number 9 in the world, bar none. Timo Werner is also quite a versatile player, having played as a centre forward and can be played as a left winger as well, which I believe is one of the reasons why Chelsea did look to him as a target. But he is most dangerous when he's playing as a striker or when he's playing out front. As a centre forward this season, he started 24 games for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga, having scored 21 goals from there and registering all 7 assists from the centre forward position. From the left wing side, he's also quite dangerous, having started 3 times on the left side, but he has scored 3 goals from the left wing as well. Timo Werner is yet to win any trophies with his clubs, as the only thing that he has won up till now is the Confederations Cup in 2017 with Germany. But we know that the Confederations Cup is basically the same as winning the Community Shield, and people don't really look at that as respectable silverware, if that's the word that I can use. But being his age and being a converter that he is, Chelsea is making quite a good signing by getting Timo Werner. But the question lies in, where will he fit into Frank Lampard's team? Of course, he is somebody who is going to start. Somebody who scores that much and costs that price is never going to be put on the bench unless after a certain amount of games he doesn't convert or he doesn't perform as expected. But the problem lies in all the players or all the attacking options that Chelsea have at the moment. So for someone like Olivier Giroud, I don't think that he's going to be getting much playing time with the likes of Tammy Abraham and Timo Werner being in the side. Even though he did recently pen a new contract to stay at Chelsea, I don't see how that's going to help him with regards to his playing time. And if he really wants to continue playing at a high level, he should probably go towards China, where he'll get a good payday, or to the United States, where people do love having players like Olivier Giroud with his experience. They do love having players like him over there. So that would be the option that I would have opted for, but I guess it's a bit too late because he has signed a contract extension as Chelsea. Now, is Timo Werner going to play as a striker, or is he going to play as a left winger? Personally, I'd play him as a striker, have Christian Pulisic on the left, and then of course Hakim Ziyech also signed for Chelsea, so he'd be playing on the right. And just behind them, you could have somebody like Mason Mount, or if that's not the case, maybe play Timo Werner on the left, Tammy Abraham up front, Ziyech on the right, and then Pulisic just behind him, because we know that he's very capable. He can play on the wing, he can play in the center of attack, he can play as a support striker or center forward. That is the quality of Christian Pulisic. I've seen that a lot of people, and in fact a lot of analysts, say that Christian Pulisic is the player who will be sacrificed, but I don't see how that should be the case, because he is an absolutely incredible player. And even though it took him a little while to start getting used to the English game, once he got going, he's a player that's very, very difficult to stop, and he can score from basically any position. So not having Christian Pulisic in the side to try and make space for somebody like Timo Werner might be detrimental to Chelsea's attacking play. But at the same time, we do know that Frank Lampard has a big interest in the likes of Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham. So who knows how it's going to turn out. And Christian Pulisic is still quite young as well. So Frank Lampard may use that as an excuse to say he's going to grow into his role as a Chelsea starter. But you know what? That's a very good headache for Frank Lampard to have. Those are the kind of nice life problems that you want to have as a manager. Too many attacking options and trying to find the right way to balance it so that your team can be as effective as possible when it comes to pushing forward. Now, of course, Chelsea do have other signings that I believe they do need to make, such as a left back, because it's clear that Frank Lampard isn't a fan of Marcos Alonso, and Emerson Palmieri has been getting injured, and he's also still quite young, so he can grow into the role as the starting left back over some time. So maybe getting an experienced left back coming in for Chelsea, and then having Emerson play as a substitute, or Emerson and him fighting for the place as a left back. And then of course I do believe they do need a centre back as well to come in, because I don't think that their centre backs are good enough. Antonio Rudiger, in my opinion, is the best of the centre-back options that Chelsea have, but even he can be a little bit, like, he can lose his head in matches sometimes. I don't think Christensen is good enough, and I also believe that Kurt Zuma is not good enough to at least be challenging for the title, which I'm quite sure that's the goal of Frank Lampard, because Chelsea are a big club, and that's the kind of things that they should be aiming for. So of course, what do you think of the potential signing of Timo Werner to Chelsea? Is it a good move? Is it a bad move? Who's going to start? Who's not going to start? Who's going to be sitting on the bench? Should Pulisic be on the bench? Should Abraham be on the bench? Should Mason Mount be on the bench? Because you're not going to sign Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech if they're going to be on the bench. Especially after having spent so much money on them, and especially after they've performed so well in their respective leagues before moving to the Premier League. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how things go, and I think it's going to make things a lot more interesting with regards to challenging for the title and challenging for the top two spots, as we know that Man City and Liverpool have been dominating it as of late. I don't believe that's going to be the case. Chelsea is going to be moving up, or they're going to be playing very well. They've been with Frank Lampard for long enough to sort of understand the style of play that he wants them to have. Manchester United as well, they've been with Ole for long enough to understand the style of play, and they've been boosted by the returns of the likes of Paul Pogba and the excitement and prospect of him being able to play with Bruno Fernandes, them together. We've also got Mikel Arteta, I'm quite sure, is going to be bringing in a lot of different recruits. While I don't think they're going to be top 4 material, I think that maybe the season after next season coming, I think that that's when they're really going to show their colors, and Mikel Arteta is really going to show the kind of manager that he is. And of course, we can't rule out any of the other teams that have been doing spectacular, like Sheffield United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. We just don't know how it's going to go. Carlo Ancelotti at Everton as well has a really good squad, and it shows that he's taking his time, but you can really see that they're starting to adopt the style of play that he wants them to play with. We know that Liverpool is going to win the 2019-20 season, and the only thing that we can do as fans of other teams is look towards the next season, and it looks like it's going to be extremely exciting, and it's not going to be as easy as it was for Liverpool this season, and that's really something that I'm looking forward to, and I'm quite sure that you as a football fan are looking forward to that as well. Once again, let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Who do you think should start for Chelsea? Who do you think is the best option to play up front? Who do you think is the best option to play on the left wing? And of course, like this video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit the bell notification icon so you know when the next video is released. I'll talk to you again soon. God bless.